Chapter 5. How much do you need? Ramik, age 12. Ramik, a sturdy, tough 7th grader at Hubbard Middle School in Plainfield, New Jersey, headed home from the Gifted and Talented program that met after school once a week. He rode in his grandmother's red Chevy Caprice Classic, a long and comfortable car that perfectly fit her style. He loved it when she could pick him up. It was only in this car he could talk to Ma and work out some of the frustrations and confusions he felt. You like being in this program, Ramik? His grandmother asked. Yeah. Mrs. Hatt looked me right in my face and tells me I'm intelligent. Not just smart, intelligent. I like that word, he said proudly. She makes me feel like I can maybe be somebody. I tell you that all the time, boy, Ma said as she smoothly turned the corner. I know, but you're supposed to tell me stuff like that. Mrs. Hatt is different. Has she been there the whole time you've been in this program? His grandmother asked. Yeah, except for 3rd and 4th grade when I couldn't go because I was in Catholic school. And you know how that went. Ma laughed. That was a real disaster. It's a good thing your mama ran out of money about the same time she ran out of patience with those nuns. Imagine, putting my grandson in special ed. Hey, Ma, I need some new shoes, Ramik said, changing the subject. What's wrong with the ones you got on? They're old and beat up. The kids at school got these cool new sneakers made by Nike. I want some shoes with a swoosh. He knew it sounded stupid to her. Ma laughed. You must be a fool, boy. You want shoes with a swoosh, whatever that is, and your mama can't pay the rent? How much these shoes cost? They only cost $50. Even as he said it, Ramik could predict how she would respond. She liked to quote well-worn proverbs and wise sayings whenever she had the chance to teach one of her many children or grandchildren. Boy, you don't have a pot to pee in, nor a window to throw it out. Don't try to live the high life off the hog. The shoes you're wearing will do just fine until next school year, when you've outgrown them. To close the matter, she changed the subject. Didn't you tell me you were going to try out for another play at school? Ramik sighed and looked out the window. He gave up on the shoes. Talking about being in plays, however, always cheered him up. Yeah, I did. I got the part. What's the name of the play? His grandmother asked. The Wiz. I got the big part. Well, I'm mighty proud of you. Ramik grinned. The teacher, Miss Scott, said I had real good acting ability. Maybe I'll move away from here and be a movie star and make $1 million. Then I can buy you some shoes with a swoosh, too. They both laughed. As much as you sing and dance around here, boy, you're a natural for the movies, his grandmother commented. I really like being in plays, Ramik told her dreamily. How come? She asked. Well, for one thing, there are always lots of girls around and lots of free times backstage. He looked at his grandmother out of the corner of his eye. A ladies' man, just like your daddy, his grandmother teased. But the real reason, Ramik told her honestly, is the applause. I love it when the curtains go up, when I hear the people in the room laugh or react to what we're doing on stage. But mostly, I love it when the show is over and everybody claps and applauds and cheers. It's like they're telling me I'm cool, I'm wonderful. It's the best thing in the world. I understand, she said softly. Hey, Ma, Ramik began. Miss Scott is starting a drama class, and I have a chance to maybe get real acting jobs. He hesitated. I know you said I couldn't get the shoes, but this is different. I need some photographs, a portfolio, so Miss Scott can send them out to producers and stuff. How much do you need? $150, Ramik admitted. He waited while she sucked in her breath and exhaled noisily. Goodness, child, she exclaimed. I figured if you said yes to the shoes, I would say I didn't really want them if you could help me get the pictures instead. That's an awful lot of money. You trying to play me, boy? She didn't sound angry. No, ma'am, Ramik replied honestly. The last day to pay the fee for the pictures is tomorrow, he added. Why you waiting till the last minute to ask? Ramik lowered his head. I knew it was more money than we got. The crease rolled to a stop in front of the apartment where Ramik lived with his mother and his new baby sister. I got my house payment here in my purse, Ma said slowly. You know how proud I am to own that house, boy. but I suppose I can borrow from my cousins and install the mortgage man a couple of days. Ramik looked at her with hope. Would you do that for me? He asked. I might. I'd do anything you ask me forever, Ramik said, pleading. You'll do it anyway, Ma replied with a chuckle. You understand what a sacrifice this is? Oh, yes, ma'am. I don't know. Sounds to me like it's for some foolishness. If I get these pictures, I can get parts in real movies, in shows in New York. I think I've got talent, Ma. So does every other out-of-work actor in this world, she replied while looking at Ramik with a grim smile. I promise to make you proud of me, Ramik said. Ma sighed again. I know, boy. You come by my house in the morning and I'll give it to you. I believe in you, Ramik. I want you to have the best. Can't you give it to me now? I have to be at school real early tomorrow, Ramik asked. I love your mama, but I don't trust her, his grandmother explained. She's got demons that eat at her soul. I promise, Ramik pleaded. She won't even know I have it. His grandmother looked doubtful, but she reached into her large pocketbook and pulled out a wad of money. This is for your future, you hear? She handed it to Ramik, who hugged her tightly. Yes, ma'am, Ramik replied with excitement. I love you, Ma. Thank you so much. I promise to make you proud of me. I'm already proud of you, boy. Your mama is too, whether you know it or not. Don't screw this up. Yes, ma'am, Ramik promised again. The red Chevy Caprice roared away. When Ramik walked into his house, the first thing he noticed was the silence. The television and radio, which ran constantly whether anyone paid any attention to him or not, were quiet. His baby sister, Mecca, lay asleep in her crib. His mother, smoking a cigarette, sat at the kitchen table. They turned off the electricity, she said in greeting. I see, Ramik replied. We've been through this before. It won't be so bad. It's not very cold outside this time. I spent on my paycheck and I got a refrigerator full of groceries that'll spoil, she told him bleakly. Ramik thought back to the good times, when his mother had a well-paying job that she enjoyed, when she laughed all the time, when she took them to Disney World. Somehow, things got changed since his little sister had been born. When can he pay the bill? Ramik asked, thinking guiltily of the money in his pocket. Today's Thursday. I doubt if I can get the money together until Monday. That's a whole weekend of no electricity. She sighed, her eyes glazed and dull as she looked at her son. What am I going to do? She asked plaintively. I don't know, Ramik said uncomfortably. He knew his little sister needed milk. He couldn't let her go hungry while he pursued some impossible Hollywood dream. He shifted from one foot to the other. You got any money? His mother asked. No, he lied. Where would I get that kind of money? He wanted those pictures so badly, but guilt ripped at him. Mecca wasn't even 2 years old. She deserved cold milk and fresh food. You sure? His mother asked. You look like you Holden boy. Ramik sighed. He knew he would never have another chance to get that portfolio of photographs made. But he reached down into his pocket and slowly pulled out the $150. Reluctantly, he handed it to his mother. You're the best, she said cheerfully. Wait, where'd you get this? She then asked suspiciously. You ain't selling no drugs, are you? 'Cause I'll kick your butt if I find out you're messing with drugs. Ramik wanted to tell her that long ago he had sworn to himself that he would never, ever get involved with drugs, because he had seen what drugs could do to people he knew and loved, what drugs were doing to her. But he just shook his head. Ma gave it to me for some pictures at school, he told her quietly. I promise. I'll pay you back, baby. Next week for sure. Ramik walked away from her sadly. The next morning, the stove and refrigerator were not back on, but his mother had taken the food to the neighbor's house. Mecca's milk was cold, her food was fresh, and Ramik's money, as well as that opportunity, was gone. I might have been an actor. If I had, I might have been a famous movie star by now. Acting was something I really wanted to do. I enjoyed it more than anything else at the time, but sometimes we're forced to make difficult decisions. I honestly believe I had what it took to make it in show business. That money was the ticket to all my dreams. but I gave it up. Giving my mother that money was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make. I chose not to be selfish and to do what I thought was best for my family. My mother had a lot of struggles she was dealing with, specifically drug addiction. That addiction made a mess in my household and tore our family apart. I was already the product of a single-family household, but with drugs added to the mix, it made a recipe for disaster. And even though she didn't use the money like she said she would, if I had to do it over, I would do the same thing. Only this time, I would make sure she used the money to get the electricity turned back on. In life, you're going to have to make some hard decisions. Always try and make sure you make them with the very best intentions. If you do that, no matter what you decide and no matter what the outcome, it will be the right decision because you made it for the right reasons.